That's it then, we're doing it. Looks like I'm painting another army. Hello, I'm Mick. Welcome to my brand spanking new YouTube channel. I've set this channel up to document my miniature painting, which is usually heavily Warhammer Quest, the 1995 edition of course. But recently I've been getting the itch to fight on the green bays, so to do that I'm going to have an army, and I'm going to have to paint it, so that is what we're going to do. First of all, a little bit about me. I grew up in Nottinghamshire during the Middlehammer era, and that's the 1990s for those not aware. I would visit Games Workshop Nottingham and spend the day learning to play all the games with the friendly staff there. Now, I'm not the world's greatest painter, or the world's greatest gamer for that matter, but I have tried out a few of the various techniques for painting and gaming over the years. I tried some Zenithal undercoating, Slapshot, that's the latest trend being thrown around, done a bit of that. But to be honest, these days it's mostly contrast paints, and that's for the simple reason it's speed. It gets the armies painted. Maybe I'll add a few highlights, etc., but for the most part it's all about the speed painting and to get through that backlog. So a few years ago I joined a Facebook group for Warhammer Quest players, and I painted up some heroes, the basic box set of monsters, and I was looking to test out the game after not playing it for the whole of my adult life. Now, as if by magic, a post came up on my timeline on Facebook stating that a group of 3 people required one more player to complete the party, and that the game would be held in Leeds. That's not far, I thought, so I hit reply and arranged to meet up and play a proper game. It was a great game and really enjoyed myself. The games master who arranged that game was Russ. Fast forward a few years, and so once again, Facebook has alerted me to a post which catches my eye, and it's a tale of 4 gamers type advert posted on the Middlehammer Facebook group. They are looking for participants for a paint-along over a 6-month period, with a view to getting an army started for whatever game system that you like, that's Middlehammerish I suppose. Now I see Russ has commented, and after some inquiries I discover he is painting orcs and goblins for fantasy. I suggest maybe painting a 5th edition army that we can battle with at the end of the 6 months, and Russ seemed definitely up for that. So with that decided, I had another few decisions to make. The plan. We would need to decide a points value for our battle, and that would be realistically paintable in the 6-month time limit of the event. I would need to decide which army to paint and what colour scheme to use for it. I'd need to learn how to play 5th edition, having not played it since 1996 or thereabouts. And at some point we would need to arrange a venue to have the battle. Maybe there's a tournament on we could attend around October sometime. We'll see. So, points decided. 1500. I'm going to paint more than that though, hopefully, and I'm unsure if Russ wants to paint 1500 of troops or fight a 1500 point battle including the items, but we will see about that. I went through the armies available in 5th edition one by one and eliminated them as required. I don't really want to spend any money on this project, as it is more about clearing what I've already got from the painting pile. So straight away I could get rid of anything I had little or no models for. That's Dogs of War, Dwarfs, the Empire, Orcs and Goblins, well, because Russ was doing them, and the Wood Elves. Chaos Dwarfs were next on the chop list. I do love them, but I just don't have a full army's worth of models, and buying more of those would not be a cheap affair at all. So Dark Elves and High Elves went next for similar reasons. Chaos and Undead would have been a lot of fun to do, but after carefully going through my model collection, I could see I was going to need to spend money here as well, and I would have to rule them out for now unless nothing better came up. This left me with Bretonnians, Lizardmen and Skaven. I definitely had enough points in these armies, but ultimately what swung it was a trip to the bookshelf, where I found the only army book I own, and that's Skaven. A physical copy of the army book would be a massive bonus for this project, and the battle afterwards, so decision made. We are doing Skaven. So here we are looking through the Skaven army book. I just love looking at the colour pages for inspiration, and there's a nice world map there, great nostalgia shot. Shout out to the heavy metal team of the 90s, and what a team they had. A quick flick through the army selection pages to get a feel for the army composition. I like the look of the suggested 1000 point army list in the back as a starting point, so maybe I'll go with that. A few ideas for additional troops in these pages, and then a blank army list to fill out. Great, I'll get one printed off. So now I had an idea of what Skaven were all about, and I went to fetch my boxes of models to root through and see what I could muster for the painting challenge. I found some real delights. First of all, we've got some clan rats from the Island of Blood starter set. They are nice looking figures, and I have plenty of them, but not sure I want to use these in a 5th edition army. Let's see what else we can find. We've got some plague monks, quite a lot of plague monks actually. Some nice variety in the sculpts, and these were definitely very 5th edition-y. I'll be using these for sure, maybe a unit of 15 or so to start. Looks like I've got a command group here as well, so more pennies saved. Some of these sculpts are possibly from a different manufacturer, and I'll come back to those afterwards. I've got some really old sculpts of clan rats and slaves here, a random bell ringer, Fanquil, Lord Skrulk, Queek, Ike Claw, no backpack for him though, a Warpfire team maybe, got some Jezzail gunners, 6 but with some missing parts. Looks like I'll be doing some repairs in this series too. What's left I think are from Black Tree Design and look like Plague Monk wannabes. They're pretty cool, but I wouldn't want to get kicked out of Warhammer World for using non-genuine models, so I'll leave them for now, and maybe they can be used for conversions or something like that in the future. Ooh, some shiny new stuff in a blister. These are Poison Wind Globadiers. Wonderful models, and were still available for many years after Fantasy ended. Some spare parts for Jezzails. Oh, I think that might be a Deathmaster Snitch. Love him. Great character. More bloody plague monks. These ones sealed, so maybe I could sell them to fund more rats or something. Some more Warpfire teams, and a mortar that I can't use in 5th edition because they didn't come out until 6 or later. We've got a Packmaster type guy, and now some Storm Vermin. Looks like enough for a decent sized unit, and some command models again too. Some plastic clan rats, much more suitable for 5th edition. Well, than the Island of Blood ones anyway. Not sure 17 is going to be enough, but hopefully I can find a few extras cheap enough. Some later plastic clan rats still on the sprue, but not sure I'm bothered about these as before with the later models. We've got some rat ogres, some primed and ready, but some will need stripping as I don't like a black undercoat. We are going full 90s bright colours, baby. Some gutter runners and another Packmaster I think I got from my to be stripped box. Now we have some sensor bearers, and some assassins, maybe more gutter runners, I think these ones are. All in all, we've got a good selection so far. This bag looks like more gutter runners, but I think that's it. So let's take a look at what we've got all laid out in its metal glory. Let's do this. Let's get this lot painted well as much as we can in the 6 months and maybe beyond. So after putting everything Skaven out on the table, I knew I wouldn't need to invest too much. Maybe a Doom Wheel or Screaming Bell or something like that. But everything else is pretty much available to me. So, great news. In the essence of the 4 gamers, I would start out by painting a unit of clan rats and a leader of some kind. So, join me in the next episode to follow along as I undertake the Middlehammer Tale painting challenge. If you would like to join in, you can do so in the links which I'll leave in the description below.